A pleasant day to everyone. Welcome to Angeles City Senior High School Orientation on Child Protection Policy for students, parents, and teachers for school year 2021 and 2022. For the information and guidance of all concerned, the Department of Education issues the enclosed copy of the policy and guidelines on protecting children in school from abuse, violence, exploitation, discrimination, bullying, and other forms of abuse, entitled DepEd Child Protection Policy, released on May 14, 2012. The policy has 7 parts. First part is the title and its statement of policy. Second part are the duties and responsibilities of persons involved. The remaining parts is its implementation. DepEd Child Protection Policy Department Order Number 40 Series of 2012, the policy aimed to protect the child from all forms of violence that may be inflicted by adults, persons in authority, as well as their fellow students, including bullying. To provide special protection to children who are gravely threatened or endangered by circumstances which affect their normal development and over which they have no control, and to assist the concerned agencies in their rehabilitation. Let us first understand the definition of each terms. Child refers to any person below 18 years of age or those over but are unable to fully take care of themselves or protect themselves from abuse, neglect, cruelty, exploitation, or discrimination because of a physical or mental disability or condition. This is according from the Republic Act 7610. For purposes of this department order, the term also includes pupils or students who may be 18 years of age or older but are in school. Children in school refers to the bona fide pupils, students, or learners who are enrolled in the basic education system, whether regular, irregular, transferee, or repeater, including those who have been temporarily out of school, who are in the school or learning center's premises or participating in school sanctioned activities. Pupil, student or learner, means a child who regularly attends classes in any level of the basic education system under the supervision and tutelage of a teacher or facilitator. School personnel means the persons singly or collectively working in a public or private school. They are classified as follows. First, the school head refers to the chief executive officer or administrator of a public or private school or learning center. Other school officials include other school officers, including teachers, who are occupying supervisory positions or positions of responsibility and are involved in policy formulation or implementation in a school. Academic personnel includes all school personnel who are formally engaged in actual teaching service or in research assignments, either on a full-time or a part-time basis, as well as those who possess certain prescribed academic functions directly supportive of teaching, such as registrars, librarians, guidance counselors, researchers, and other similar persons. They may include school officials who are responsible for academic matters and are school officials. Other personnel includes all other academic personnel in the school, whatever may be the nature of their appointment and status of employment. What is child protection? It refers to programs, services, procedures, and structures that are intended to prevent and respond to abuse, neglect, exploitation, discrimination, and violence. Who are the parents? These are the biological parents, step-parents, adoptive parents, and the common law spouse or partner of the parent. Who are the guardians or custodians? They refer to legal guardians foster parents and other persons, including relatives or even non-relatives, who have physical custody of the child. Who are the school visitor or guests? It refers to any person who visits the school and has any official business with the school, and any person who does not have any official business but is found within the premises of the school. This may include those who are within the school premises for certain reasons. Examples are the student teachers, catechists, service providers, suppliers, bidders, parents, and guardians of other children. What do we mean by child abuse? It refers to the maltreatment of a child, whether habitual or not, which includes any of the following: A. Psychological or physical abuse, neglect, cruelty, sexual abuse, and emotional maltreatment. B. Any act by deeds or words which debases, degrades, or demeans the intrinsic worth and dignity of a child as a human being. C. Unreasonable deprivation of the child's basic needs for survival, such as food and shelter. D. Failure to immediately give medical treatment to an injured child, resulting in serious impairment of his or her growth and development, or in the child's permanent incapacity or death. What is discrimination against children? It refers to an act of exclusion, distinction, restriction, or preference which is based on any ground such as age, ethnicity, sex, sexual orientation and gender identity, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, being infected or affected by human immunodeficiency virus and acquired immune deficiency syndrome, being pregnant, being a child in conflict with the law, being a child with disability or other status or condition, and which has the purpose or effect of nullifying or impairing the recognition, enjoyment, or exercise by all persons on an equal footing of all rights and freedoms. Let us stop discrimination. What is child exploitation? It refers to the use of children for someone else's advantage, gratification, or profit, often resulting in an unjust, cruel, and harmful treatment of the child. These activities disrupt the child's normal physical or mental health, education, moral or social emotional development. It covers situations of manipulation, misuse, abuse, victimization, oppression, or ill treatment. There are two main forms of child exploitation that are recognized. First, exploitation. It refers to the abuse of a position of vulnerability, differential power, or trust for sexual purposes. Second, economic exploitation, which refers to the use of the child in work or other activities for the benefit of others. Economic exploitation involves a certain gain or profit through the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. This includes, but is not limited to, illegal child labor as defined in Republic Act 9231. Another definition is the violence against children committed in schools. It refers to a single act or a series of acts committed by school administrators, academic and non-academic personnel against a child, which result in or is likely to result in physical, sexual, psychological harm or suffering, or other abuses, including threats of such acts, battery, assault, coercion, harassment, or arbitrary deprivation of liberty. It includes, but it's not limited to, the following acts. First, physical violence. Second, sexual violence. Third, psychological violence. And four, other acts of violence. Another term is the bullying or peer abuse. It refers to willful aggressive behavior that is directed towards a particular victim who may be outnumbered, younger, weak, with disability, less confident, or otherwise vulnerable, more particularly bullying. It is committed when a student commits an act or a series of acts directed towards another student, or a series of single acts directed towards several students in a school setting or a place of learning which results in physical and mental abuse, harassment, intimidation, or humiliation. Such acts may consist of any one or more of the following. Cyberbullying. It's any conduct defined in the preceding paragraph as resulting in harassment, intimidation, or humiliation through electronic means or other technology, such as, but not limited to, texting, email, instant messaging, chatting, internet, social networking websites, or other platforms or formats. What is other acts of abuse by a pupil, student, or learner? It refers to other serious acts of abuse committed by a pupil, student, or learner upon another pupil, student, or learner of the same school, not falling under the definition of bullying in the preceding provisions, including but not limited to acts of a physical, sexual, or psychological nature. Students, speak out. Stop bullying. Stop verbal bullying, stop physical bullying, stop social bullying, stop cyberbullying. What is corporal punishment? It refers to a kind of punishment or a penalty imposed for an alleged or actual offense which is carried out or inflicted for the purpose of discipline, training, or control by a teacher, school administrator, an adult, or any other child who has been given or has assumed authority or responsibility for punishment or discipline. It includes physical humiliating or degrading punishment, including but not limited to the following. What is positive and non-violent discipline of children? It is a way of thinking and a holistic, constructive, and proactive approach to teaching that helps children develop appropriate thinking and behavior in the short and long term and fosters self-discipline. It is based on the fundamental principle that children are full human beings with basic human rights. Positive discipline begins with setting the long-term goals or impacts that teachers want to have on their students' adult lives and using everyday situations and challenges as opportunities to teach lifelong skills and values to students. Now we go to the second part of the policy, which is the duties and the responsibilities of central office, regional office, division office, which is discussed under section 4, 5, and 6. For section number 7 of the policy, it discusses the duties and responsibilities of the school. So what are the duties and responsibilities of Angeles City Senior High School for Child Protection Policy? The school head shall have the following duties and responsibilities: to ensure the institution of effective child protection policies and procedures and monitor compliance thereof, ensure that the school adopts a child protection policy, ensure that all pupils, students, or learners, school personnel, parents, guardians, or custodians, and visitors and guests are made aware of child protection policy. Organize and convene the Child Protection Committee for the school. To conduct the capacity building activities for the members of the Child Protection Committee and guidance counselors/teachers. To conduct disciplinary proceedings in cases of offenses committed by pupils, students, or learners. And to ensure that the participatory and other rights of children are respected and upheld in all matters and procedures affecting their welfare. Maintain a record of all proceedings related to bullying or peer abuse and submit after each school year to the division office the report and a copy of the intake form. To conduct the appropriate training and capability building activities on child protection measures and protocols. To ensure that the school adopts a student code of conduct to be followed by every pupil, student, or learner while on school grounds or when traveling to and from school or during a school-sponsored activity and during lunch period, whether on or off campus. To adopt such conflict resolution mechanisms that respect the rights of indigenous peoples, provided that they conform to this department order and they uphold the rights of the child. To coordinate with the appropriate offices and other agency or instrumentality for appropriate assistance and intervention as may be required in the performance of its functions. To coordinate with the Department of Social Welfare and Development or the appropriate government agencies or non-governmental organizations on the Child Protection Hotline for reporting abuse, violence, exploitation, discrimination, bullying, and other similar acts and for counseling. And last, to ensure that all incidents of abuse, violence, exploitation, discrimination, bullying, and other similar acts are addressed in accordance with the provisions of the Department Order. Section number 8 are the duties and responsibilities of school personnel. Article 218 of the Family Code of the Philippines provides the following responsibilities of school administrators, teachers, academic and non-academic, and other personnel: to exercise special parental authority and responsibility of the child while under their supervision, instruction, and custody. Authority and responsibility shall apply to all authorized activities whether inside or outside the premises of the school, entity, or institution. Articles 220 and 233 of the Family Code of the Philippines, Presidential Decree Number 603, and other related laws enumerated the following duties and responsibilities of the above-mentioned persons and personnel over the children under their supervision, instruction, and custody: to keep them in their company and support, educate, and instruct them by right precepts and good example; to give them love and affection, advice and counsel, companionship and understanding; to enhance, protect, preserve, and maintain their physical and mental health at all times; to furnish them with good and wholesome educational materials, supervise their activities, recreation, and association with others, protect them from bad company, and prevent them from acquiring habits detrimental to their health, studies, and morals; to represent them in all matters affecting their interests; to inculcate the value of respect and obedience; to practice positive and non-violent discipline, as may be required under the circumstances, provided that in no case shall corporal punishment be inflicted upon them; perform such other duties as are imposed by law upon them, as substitute parents or guardians; and school personnel shall also strictly comply with the school's child protection policy. What are the duties and responsibilities of pupils, students, and learners? Pupils, students, and learners shall have the following duties and responsibilities: A. Comply with the school's regulations as long as they are in harmony with their best interests. Pupils, students, and learners shall refrain from 1. Engaging in discrimination or leading a group of pupils or students to discriminate another with reference to one's physical appearance, weaknesses, and status of any sort. Second, doing any act that is inappropriate or sexually provocative. Third, participating in behavior of other students that is illegal, unsafe, or abusive. Fourth, marking or damaging school property, including books in any way. Fifth, engaging in fights or any aggressive behavior. Sixth, introducing into the school premises or otherwise possessing prohibited articles such as deadly weapons, drugs, alcohol, toxic and noxious substances, cigarettes, and pornographic material, and performing other similar acts that cause damage or injury to another. An allegation that any of these acts has been committed shall not be used to curtail the child's basic rights, or interpreted to defeat the objectives of this department order. Another duties and responsibilities of the students, pupils, and learners is to conduct themselves in accordance with their levels of development, maturity, and demonstrated capabilities with a proper regard for the rights and welfare of other persons, to respect another person's rights regardless of opinion, status, gender, ethnicity, religion, as well as everyone's moral and physical integrity, and to observe the code of conduct for pupils, students, and learners. For section number 10 are the establishment of Child Protection Committee. All public and private elementary and secondary schools shall establish a Child Protection Committee or CPC. The CPC shall be composed of the following. Number 1, school head or administrator is the chairperson. The guidance counselor teacher is the vice chairperson. Representative of the teachers as designated by the faculty club. 4, representative of the parents as designated by the Parents Teachers Association. 5, representative of pupils, students, and learners as designated by the Supreme Student Council. 6, representative from the community as designated by the Punong Barangay, preferably a member of the Barangay Council for the Protection of Children or BCPC. I would like to present to you the Child Protection Committee of Angeles City Senior High School. Sir Larry June R. Lobo, Principal 1, our Chairman. Ms. Karen F. Canlapan, yours truly, Teacher 3, the CPP Coordinator. Ms. Senny C. Pineda, Teacher 1, Teacher Designate Guidance Counselor. Sir Don Al Dios, Teacher 2, the President, Faculty Club Association. Mrs. Harleen Bognot, our GPTA President. Ms. Charmaine Estabillo, our SSG President, and our Honorable Jeremes Alejandrino, the Barangay Captain of Barangay Pandan. These are the duties and responsibilities of the CPC. The CPC shall perform the following functions: to draft a school child protection policy with a code of conduct and a plan to ensure child protection and safety, which shall be reviewed every 3 years. The template for the school child protection policy is attached as Annex C. Initiate information and dissemination programs and organize activities for the protection of children from abuse, exploitation, violence, discrimination, and bullying or peer abuse. To develop and implement a school-based referral and monitoring system. To establish a system for identifying students who may be suffering from significant harm based on any physical, emotional, or behavioral signs. To identify, refer, and if appropriate, report to the appropriate officers cases involving child abuse, exploitation, violence, discrimination, and bullying. To give assistance to parents or guardians whenever necessary in securing expert guidance counseling from the appropriate offices or institutions. 7. To coordinate closely with the Women and Child Protection Desk of the Philippine National Police, the local Social Welfare and Development Office, or other government agencies and non-governmental organizations as may be appropriate. To monitor the implementation of positive measures and effective procedures in providing the necessary support for the child and for those who care for the child, and to ensure that the children's right to be heard are respected and upheld in all matters and procedures affecting their welfare. Attorney Josephine Marie Bohoc, the OIC Undersecretary for Legal Service of the Department of Education, said during her interview last September of 2020 that the agency was finalizing a set of policies aimed at ensuring the rights and welfare of students during distance learning. According to her, children may be exposed to virus risks as learning moves away from classrooms and into students' homes due to the COVID-19 pandemic. A new department memorandum was released by September 29, 2020 to supplement the existing policies of DepEd on child protection. This policy, entitled The Alignment of Child Protection Policy to the New Normal, Restructuring of the Child Protection Committee, or CPC, and Submission of Reportorial Obligation of Schools pursuant to DepEd Order Numbers 40, Series 2012, and Series 2013 and 18, Series of 2015. Let's now go to the third part of the Child Protection Policy, which is the preventive measures to address child abuse, exploitation, violence, discrimination, and bullying and other acts of abuse. For the capacity building of school officials, personnel, parents, and students, These are the strategies: to conduct sessions, trainings, and seminars or webinars on positive peer relationships and enhancement of social and emotional competence; to use training modules which include positive and non-violent discipline in classroom management or online classes and gender sensitivity; to employ of means which enhances skills and pedagogy in integrating and teaching children's rights in the classroom. Part number 4 is the protective and remedial measures to address child abuse, exploitation, violence, discrimination, bullying, and other acts of abuse. For the procedures, all bullying incidents shall be reported to the school head. The school head shall in turn inform the parents of the pupils concerned, and a meeting shall be held for that purpose. The student shall be referred to the CPC for counseling and other interventions. The school may impose non-punitive measures in accordance with the principles of positive and non-violent discipline. Punitive measures will be a last resort. What is punitive measures? When a student causes harm, it's a teachable moment. This could be a suspension, depending on the decision of CPC based on the proceedings. But for now, the school avoids punitive approach to students' discipline due to pandemic. Part number 5 are the rules and procedures in handling child abuse, exploitation, violence, and discrimination cases. Expeditious conduct of investigation and reporting of cases. School head or the school's division superintendent shall forward the complaint within 48 hours to the disciplining authority, who shall issue an order for the conduct of a fact-finding investigation, not later than 72 hours from submission. Third, if the person complained of is a non-teaching personnel, the school's division's superintendent shall cause the conduct of a fact-finding investigation within the same period. 4. Criminal and civil liability shall be a bar to the filing of an administrative case. 5. The revised rules of procedure of DepEd in administrative cases shall apply in all other aspects. 6. The identity or other information that may reasonably identify the pupil or student shall remain confidential, and the identity of a respondent teacher shall likewise be kept confidential. For part number 6, these are the referral and assessment of victims and offenders and other children. The CPC shall accomplish the intake sheet. The school head may refer the victims and offenders to LSWDP for assessment and appropriate intervention. That ends my discussion and presentation about child protection policy. I would like to leave you this quote: every child learner has the right to be safe and protected. If you have any queries and concern about child protection policy, you may visit FB page of Angeles City Senior High School, which is ACSHS Pandan, or may contact me, yours truly, the CPP Coordinator of Angeles City Senior High School, Karen Porto Canlapan. Before we end, I would like to present to students and parents the DepEd vision and the DepEd mission, and to remind our teachers about our vision and mission, that we dream of Filipinos who passionately love their country and whose values and competencies enable them to realize their full potential and contribute meaningfully to building the nation. As a learner-centered public institution, the Department of Education continuously improves itself to better serve its stakeholders. For DepEd mission, to protect and promote the right of every Filipino to quality, equitable, culture-based, and complete basic education where students learn in a child-friendly, gender-sensitive, safe, and motivating environment. Teachers facilitate learning and constantly nurture every learner. Administrators and staff, as stewards of the institution, ensure an enabling and supportive environment for effective learning to happen. Family, community, and other stakeholders are actively engaged and share responsibility for developing lifelong learners. Let us not forget the DepEd core values: makadiyos, makatao, makakalikasan, and makabansa. In behalf of our school principal, Sir Larry June R. Lobo, and the ACHS family, we would like you to know that learners' education is our priority, as well as their safety and protection. Keep safe and God bless everyone.